Alright everybody, let's do this. I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael from Super7. If you gave this to someone below 14 years of age, bad. Because this clearly is ages 14 and up. So if you give this to your kids, they'll explode. Much like what I'm gonna do because I'm so excited to open this bad boy up. Okay, how do we... There's a little flappy do right there. Yank it. Man, I was such a huge Turtles fan. I fell for Turtle Mania face first like a drunk guy trips into a pile of dog poop. Look at this logo right here. It's clearly, I think it's supposed to be a sewer lid with a turtle face on it. Clearly green. I love this. And then more green. And there's Turtles logo on the back of the box. And then more green. What's the top look like? Ultimates. That's because this is part of the TMNT Ultimate series. I so gotta get Splinter, 2 of those foot soldiers at least, and also Baxter Stockman. Let's slide the box top off. Anything inside there? Nope. Check this out. Oh my doodle, this looks friggin' awesome. I love how they've actually designed this box to look like it's breaking through a wall with the bricks and the spray paint. This is awesome. What's the back say? Raphael is a hothead and the most opinionated, impulsive, and restless Ninja Turtle. Raphael loves nothing more than to test himself in battle, and trains for sheer enjoyment. He's usually the one to leap into action, and it is nearly impossible to get him back down. What fantastic box design. Alright, let's yank him out. So first you can see in the top layer you got the figure, the head, the pizza, the communicator open and closed, the this and then that doohickey and the whatever the heck that is, the size, the ninja stars, the pizza. Hey, stop making fun of me. I don't remember what these things are actually called. I know they came with the original Turtles, but I didn't know what they were called then either. Alright, let's take the front off and see the goodies in the back there. 6 hands and a weapons rack, very similar to what we would have gotten as kids. Cool beans, let's pop it out. And then holy cannoli! This is the value, the bang for buck here is huge. Look at all this stuff. The weapons rack right here, whether it looks exactly as it looked when I was a kid, I cannot say, but that is a darn good attempt. Here's the open communicator, what it looks like from the front and the back. Look at all those buttons. And here's the closed communicator. From the front and from the back. One greasy slice of extra cheese pepperoni pizza coming right up. I like that the texture of the pizza on the bottom actually kind of looks like pizza crust. And look, some of the sauce is actually popping out from behind the cheese. Here's the scythe doohickey. I'm not sure what this is called. It's actually the same as the one that's just on the weapons rack. Matter of fact, all the weapons are pretty much the same as on the weapons rack, just painted or not. See, here's this thing. The thing that, you know, goes right here in the back of his Ninja Turtle utility belt. And here's this other handheld spiky weapony this thing. And again, it's exactly like the one that comes on the weapons rack. And of course, it's the same thing with the size. And this would be the second set of size. The shiny size that actually are painted to look like steel with the black tape around the handles. If there was one thing that I would change about these, it's the fact that the blades, the tips on these are so gummy. And here are the ninja stars, or shuriken for those who actually want to use the proper terms. See? I'm smart. And they're exactly the same as the weapons rack. Here's the extra hand situation. 2 openy, grabby ninja hands. These are fantastically sculpted and painted. I mean, well, the fingernails are painted, but you can see the veins and the wrinkles in the hands. These are cool. And here are all of the closed grabby things hands. Both of these hands might look like they're exactly the same, but they're not. You can actually see in this hand, there's a space right between the fingers. I would presume that that's so that Raphael can hold the sai in his hand between his fingers like this. And then of course, there are these 2 sais, the ones that actually come with the figure. These are probably my favorite. They're not as squishy as the other ones that have been painted silver. And these bad boys have actually been molded in a light gray silverish plastic, so I certainly think these are the best out of the 3. Here's the second head that comes in the package, not on the body. I'll get a shot of this actually on the figure soon enough. And here we have the basic Raphael figure that comes with the initial head straight from the package. Damn, Super7 has done an absolutely fantastic job of recreating the Ninja Turtle that I had when I was a kid into a highly articulated adult collectible designed for people like me to go absolutely crazy with excitement over. Because that's what I am right now. Crazy with excitement. This Raphael is what the Ninja Turtles looked like to me as a child, through the mind's eye of a child. This is what Raphael looked like. He actually looked like this, and more on him in a second. But this is so good. The front of his shell here has texturing and a little bit of shading there. There's some battle damage on the shell. This is actually a softer rubber. This Raphael's belt is so reminiscent of what I had as a kid. Look at that. Same details essentially. Got the R, you got the little straps hanging down, you got the side holders, you even got the holder thingamajiggy for the this thing. And this shell looks badass. Look at that design. That is so detailed, and again, shaded. He's got battle scars in it. His knee pads and elbow pads are actually made out of a softer rubber. And when you use the figure's articulation, it kind of scrunches up a little bit in there. Kind of does get in the way of the articulation, but at the same time, it is kind of nice that it's not a piece of hard plastic. Even the headband is made out of a nice soft rubber. And this Raph's head sculpt is pretty much a modern update, exactly like what I had when I was a kid in 1988, 89. I mean, just compare it here to the original Raph head. The red's definitely a bit more muted on the newer one, a lot more muted. It's not a bright red. Even the ties for their bandana are on the exact same side. Let's try the other head now. Off with his head. Ooh, and here he is with the other head. Dude. I don't even, you know what? I don't even know which one I'm gonna put on the body for when I'm posing this figure or when I've got him sitting on the shelf. I honestly don't know which one I'm gonna choose. Modern or throwback. I mean, they both look just as awesome. I'll tell you what though, I'll leave this head on the body for the articulation segment. And oh look, the little bands from his bandana mask are actually nice and long and made out of a soft rubber. Okay, so we know the head's on a ball peg and it has an okay range of motion. He can definitely look up more than he can look down. I bet you there are some people who kind of wish he had articulation down here in the neck. He's got those rounded hinges right here in the armpits. You really don't want to force them up any higher than this because you'll see that there's actually plastic right here from the body that gets in the way. Bicep swivel 360. Single jointed 90-degree elbows. That's all you're going to get from them. 90 degrees, nothing in further. Oh, I know right now while doing this part of the video, there's going to be people that are like, darn it, he should have more articulation in the elbows and in the arms. And I can kind of see that. I mean, this was the chance to make a highly articulated Raph based on the Raph we had when we were kids, and it does kind of seem like there's a little bit of bed crapping going on here. Not from my perspective, but I can definitely understand the perspective of other people who may be thinking this. Anyway, the elbows do go around in a circle 360, so that's kind of cool. You got your hinges right here in each of the hands, and they just fit in with a peg up that far, down that far. Of note, there are other hands that look pretty much the same as what came in the body, but the hinges actually go front to back. Obviously up here in the torso, there's not going to be anything, but they did try to incorporate some articulation down here in the lower area. You can actually see up inside of here, there is some movement. There's actually quite a bit of movement. And you know what? I get it. It's a shelled action figure. How do you give a shelled action figure torso articulation? The long and the short of it is, you pretty much don't. So, I gotta give them some credit. This, although not super great, it's still a pretty reasonable attempt. Having Raph do a ninja spready, you can see that his legs are attached with these rounded hinges. Not only do you get the rounded hinge motion, and that's okay. For a shelled creature, that's actually a pretty darn good range of motion, actually. That's an awesome range of motion, I'm not gonna lie. But you also get essentially a thigh cut just up in the leg like that. He's also got single jointy knees that is as much as you're gonna get them to crunch. They do rotate though, so there's that. And then you've got the hinge right here that you can clearly see, that's also an ankle pivot. Pushed all the way to the limit that way, and then all the way to the limit that way. Now I know that there will be some of you who feel the articulation of this Raph is lacking. He's okay for me, definitely, but he certainly could have better knees and elbows. I'll give you that. Also, right here, where his legs attach to his body, this is not loose, wibbly loose, like you can shake it. It's tight, but it's where it rotates. That's definitely, it takes very, very little effort. So I will warn you, when you're trying to stand him up, he wants to kind of roll backwards and roll forwards. I'm not trying to be a downer, just a heads up for those of you who will be buying this Raph for action figure photography. Oh, and if you're wondering if this Raph's belt comes off, it does not. You can actually see, unlike the originals, this one is actually stuck. It's glued in place. Whereas the old school Raph, well, we all knew someone that had turtles that didn't have their belts because they came apart. And yes, my dudes, this bad boy's an original. Not a rubber head, sadly, but an original. Okay, and now onto the comparisons with the original Raph on the right from the 1988 action figure line, and then a Raphael missing his size, sadly, from the early 2000s cartoon. And next we have NECA just burning it up with the movie Raph and the cartoon Raph, each from their SDCC exclusive box sets. This movie Raph, in my opinion, is still one of the greatest Raph figures ever made. And here he is between two different Raphaels based on the cartoon show from Nickelodeon, you know, the one that came out before the current one. That sucks and looks stupid. And here he is in between the Raph that sucks and the classic-ish looking Raph. He's supposed to be based off the first appearance of the Ninja Turtles. The articulation in this guy, it sucks potato farts. But at least he's actually pretty cool looking. I really should get all four of these guys and not just have Raph. And here he is in between the NECA Raph based on the first appearance. These are some of the coolest Ninja Turtles, highly sought after and uber expensive on Evil Bay. And possibly one of the coolest Raphael figures ever, the SH Figuarts Raphael. If you don't own this Raphael, you really should save up your bottle caps and buy this one because he is friggin' awesome possum. And finally, here he is next to the Raph from the Batman vs. TMNT 2-pack. I forget who he came with, but this is definitely a very cool set of figures for sure. So I suppose the final question at this point would be, do I like this guy? Do I recommend him to you as a Turtles fan and a collector? Or should you just leave this guy where you're probably looking at him now? On eBay. Because, I mean, if you didn't pre-order this guy from Super7 when it was time to pre-order him, and you didn't buy him from, say, Big Bad Toy Store when you had the chance, well, eBay is gonna be the only place you're gonna find him, being sold by a reseller. Honestly, if you can find him for a good price, I'm talking maybe 10 or 15 bucks over the initial market value, he still is worth that price. And this set of Turtles action figures, in my opinion, is probably one of the coolest that's ever been released. I can't wait to see what Super7 does with their portion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figure license. Even though the articulation is so-so, the overall look and feel of these figures is more than top-notch. And as a lifelong Turtles fan, I'm totally hooked. I'm gonna get all the figures, and I'm probably gonna start, you know, collecting foot soldiers. Because one is not good enough. You need to have at least 2 or 4. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully you found this video to be an enjoyable, useful waste of time for the day. And if you did, well, you know where the like button is. You could smash that for me and it would help me out a lot. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do so if you'd like to. And if not, then maybe I'll see you around the interwebs. Bye for now.